have been on the air with breaking news coverage. Unrest in downtown Grand Rapids, which started as a peaceful protest to violence. A clash with police is underway right now as hundreds of protesters are in the area and police are ordering them out. They want them gone as things have escalated in downtown Grand Rapids. This all started at 6 o'clock today, what was called a silent protest. Hundreds of people gathered in Rosa Parks Circle, walked quietly down Monroe Center and were headed toward Veterans Memorial Park. That's when things took a little bit of a different turn. They stopped in front of the police department and had a bit of a face-off with police there. The police chief came out and said, "We hear you." And then the protesters turned and went to the back of the police department. And that's when we started seeing images like this. Things changed. Someone decided to break into a business there at Division and Fulton. That prompted police to respond there and try to get that situation under control. All the while, they're saying that folks started doing vandalism and breaking into other businesses. And that's when we started seeing the response that we are seeing tonight as night has fallen on downtown Grand Rapids. At 10 o'clock, the state police have mobilized. The Grand Rapids Police Department and their SWAT units are out and in the streets, and they are now ordering this crowd of hundreds of people to disperse. They have used chemical agents to help in their cause. News 8's Jacqueline Francis has been among the protesters who are out there. She's been there since the beginning of this, has watched this situation move, morph, and escalate. She's with us now to bring us up to speed on what she's seeing and walk us through entirely how this night has progressed from your vantage point.
Leon, it's gone from peaceful to violent to tear gas, and that is where we are now. Within the last half an hour is when we were hit with that tear gas, and immediately that is when people started running every which way, ourselves included. They were throwing water bottles on their face. They were spraying water into their eyes, trying to wash it out. And ever since then that happened, the streets are definitely less crowded, but people are kind of everywhere. Some people seem to be going home possibly. There's more traffic going through. You'd imagine that those are probably people getting inside their car to go home, but there are definitely still people on the street. And again, you're asked how this all unfolded. It started totally peaceful. It was a silent march, and then that march went to the Grand Rapids Police Department, and you were kind of saying this earlier, and just about every half hour, it went up a level. It went from people going face-to-face with officers just in their bicycle uniforms to then protesters going to the back of the police station, vandalizing it. They were doing graffiti on the side of the building. They were throwing down street signs. And then, again, another big escalation was when protesters smashed in the window of that store at Fulton and Division and started grabbing things from the inside. They had trash cans on fire, and that is when MSP, Michigan State Police, got here on the scene. Protesters were throwing things at the Michigan State Police. Police had normal smoke, like they tried to do flares, and then when flares didn't work, that's when the tear gas happened, and that's kind of where we are now.
All right, Jacqueline Francis. I am curious, Jacqueline, first of all, have you seen any indication that anybody's been hurt? And also wondering if you've seen any arrests take place downtown.
I have not seen any arrests take place. People were really getting face-to-face with the police officers, but no, I did not see anyone get arrested, and I've not seen anyone injured either, unless you count the tear gas. Definitely, it was effective in getting people to disperse, but it seems like most of us it seems like everyone has recovered from that, but again, I don't know because we're about 2 blocks down from where that went down.
And we're looking at video from earlier tonight when that tear gas was deployed before we left that area, of course, for safety concerns. Jacqueline, any indication that beyond that first tear gas deployment that we saw, have they used any more?
There's no indication of that. Again, we don't know for sure, but I think that if that were to have happened, if there would have been Sure, because we're a little bit away from where that happened, but we have not seen any crowds running into one direction since that initial tear gas was dispersed.
All right, Jacqueline Francis, excellent coverage as you have been with this protest now for more than 4 hours. It is now after 10 o'clock, and this is continuing to go on in downtown Grand Rapids.